Welcome to the Thrive Tools training. Through this training, you as a care provider will learn how to use the tools of the Thrive Collective, developed by a Child's Hope Foundation. By the end, you will have a solid understanding of the Thrive assessment, how to assess your children's home, and how to share your home's needs through the improvement roadmap. We are excited to join you in elevating how the world cares for orphans and vulnerable children. A Child's Hope Foundation is a non-governmental organization or NGO based in the United States that has staff and partners all around the world focused on caring for vulnerable children. We believe no child should be abandoned to raise themselves. That's why a Child's Hope Foundation exists, to equip orphaned and vulnerable children with skills, resources, and community so they can improve the trajectory of their lives. The Thrive Collective was created to help care providers with access to tools, trainings, and collaborative communities, which can be used to help children heal from trauma, gain practical skills, and elevate their futures. In 1989, the United Nations adopted the Convention on the Rights of the Child. This document outlines the natural human rights a child deserves to be provided in their youth. The Miracle Foundation later consolidated the convention into a scale that defines 12 specific rights. With permission, a Child's Hope Foundation used that scale to create the Thrive Assessment in 2019, which included the 12 rights as well as additional standards for child care. Soon after, the Thrive Collective was established to combine assessments, training, and collaboration formally to help support children's homes all around the world. Feel free to take a moment and study these different rights and standards. First, let's talk about some things to consider as you prepare to utilize the Thrive assessment. The time it takes to finish the entire assessment can vary between 2 to 4 hours, depending on how familiar you are with the questions. It is also vital that you provide honest information, as accuracy is much more important than high scores. You must first know the real needs before you can work on improvements over time. For example, if you state that your home is doing better than it actually is, you could miss out on identifying areas where improvement is truly needed. Conversely, if you state that your home is doing worse than it is, the quality work and care you are providing to children will not be accurately reflected. Now, let's introduce the scale and ratings for the Thrive assessment. The assessment is broken down into multiple sections, which you now know are based on the rights of the child, established by the United Nations. Each section consists of various questions that you will answer. You will provide a score of 0 to 4 for each question. Sections are then scored separately, so you can easily identify the areas that need the most attention in your home. Here is an overview of what each rating means. 0 means does not exist, never happens, no. 1 means applies to less than half of children or circumstances. 2 means applies to half of the children or circumstances. 3 means there are a few reasonable exceptions, and 4 means fully functional on a consistent basis, 100% of kids, yes. Let's take a brief look at the assessment and see this rating system in practice. Look here in the section titled Right to Nutrition. It says, do children eat enough food each day to support growth? If children never received food, the answer would be 0. If children receive enough food less than half the time, the answer would be a 1. If children receive enough food about half of the time, the answer should be 2. If children usually receive enough food, the answer would be a 3. A score of 4 would mean children always receive enough food each day to support growth. After all of the questions have been answered within a section, a score of 0 to 10 is calculated and a rating level is assigned for that section. If the score for a section is between 8.5 and 10, the home is thriving in that area. A score of 6.5 to 8.4 indicates they are sustaining, while a 5 to 6.4 means they are surviving. a section with an overall score below 5 is considered failing. While that might sound harsh, failing does not mean hopeless. Rather, failing simply means the home has identified an area where there is a significant opportunity for improvement. Now let's consider some exceptions that may come up during the Thrive assessment. Sometimes a question might not be applicable to your home and does not require a score. For example, if a question asks about children aged 7 and older, but your home only serves toddlers and infants, you would simply select Not applicable for that question. Questions marked as not applicable are not calculated in the overall score of the assessment. Additionally, as you are reviewing the assessment, take note of questions that do not make sense culturally or within your government's laws. The cultural appropriateness of the assessment is vital, so if a question does not feel culturally appropriate to your home, you may also mark Not applicable. To start the Thrive assessment, you will use a designated link. At the start of the assessment, you will provide your personal information and email and agree to the Thrive user terms and conditions. Please note that a Child's Hope Foundation will not share your personal information with others, but we may contact you regarding further partnership opportunities. Your email will also be used in the event you are unable to finish the assessment. While the assessment can be completed in one session, if you are unable to do so, you will be sent an email with a link to complete the assessment at the point you left off. In addition to setting aside time to complete the assessment, we also recommend that you have a good internet connection and a quiet place. This will help ensure you have the best experience possible with the Thrive assessment. Once you have entered your personal information, you will be asked to provide some basic information on the children's home, including the name, a brief description of the home's background, the number of children and caregivers, and any recent accomplishments or improvements that have been implemented in the home. From there, you will proceed to the assessment. As you go through each question and consider how you would rank your home from 0 to 4, you will notice a text box at the end of each section. This box is a place for you to summarize what your home is doing to address the needs of children related to that specific right. Below the summary box, there are 3 smaller individual boxes for you to capture 1 to 3 next steps that could help your home improve in that area. Next steps should be small, achievable goals or changes that your home could make within the next 6 to 12 months, and at least 1 next step is required per section. If you have scored exceptionally well in a section and don't see a need for further next steps, we recommend putting something like "Continue with current practices." We encourage you to take advantage of the summary and next steps for each section of the Thrive assessment. Doing so will help prepare you to share the current state of your home, clearly communicate your needs, and identify achievable goals to make real progress within your home. At the very end of the assessment, you will have the opportunity to choose up to 3 strategic initiatives, which are priority projects that you would like your home to focus on completing. These initiatives should be selected from some of the next steps you've recorded throughout the assessment and should represent the highest priority areas you hope to improve. You will be able to navigate back to any of the previous sections of the assessment using the table of contents at the top of the screen to review and decide which next steps should be designated as strategic initiatives. Identifying and completing strategic initiatives can help your home move forward and progress towards becoming a thriving home. Keep in mind that the projects you choose for strategic initiatives should be achievable within 6 to 12 months. Additionally, having strategic initiatives that you can share easily with nonprofit organizations, local community groups, and government entities may also increase the support you are offered. Here are a few questions you can use when thinking about choosing strategic initiatives. Are there trainings my staff or caregivers need to receive? What services, such as therapy, tutoring, or family tracing, could better address the needs of the children in my home? Once you have chosen your strategic initiatives, you should write a brief description of what is needed and why. It is also helpful to include an estimated cost. That way, you already have a need and cost ready to share in case an outside donor or organization is interested in helping your home. Remember, as you choose strategic initiatives, you should ensure the initiatives are related to something that was already identified as needing improvement in one of the sections of the assessment. After you've finished recording the strategic initiatives, you have completed all sections and will submit your assessment. Once you submit, a report called the Improvement Roadmap will automatically be generated for your home. A PDF copy of the roadmap will also be sent to the email you provided at the beginning of the assessment. Please ensure you download and save a copy of the Improvement Roadmap as soon as you receive it. Once you have your Improvement Roadmap, you are equipped and ready to start working on improvements that will help your home thrive. We encourage you to print and share the Improvement Roadmap with caregivers and other staff at your home. You may also find it helpful to share your Improvement Roadmap with potential donors or even display it in the home. Reviewing your Improvement Roadmap regularly will help you make consistent changes and progress in your home. We also recommend you complete the assessment again in 6 to 12 months. By doing so, you will be able to better see and celebrate the progress you have made and be able to share it with others. You have now completed training and are prepared to begin the Thrive assessment. If you require any additional assistance or have questions, please feel free to contact us at programs@org. Thank you for joining us in elevating how the world cares for orphans and vulnerable children.